Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Welcome in. I'm going to give it a second for you to join in. I'm going to test the audio. We had a little challenge last night, but we are pressing forward as we always do, which is important, especially when you deal with a lot of challenges on the tech side. Looks like my audio is good on my side. I'm going to welcome you in tonight. How you doing? It's February 1st. Can you believe it? We are sailing right through winter. What a great time to talk about relationships. I want to welcome you in for a few minutes, and let's talk about some relationships. And I want to throw this out there. What are some of the challenges in relationships? We'll talk about that. Mandy is awesome. Michelle, audio is good. Thank you so much. I'm going to read another quick clip out of this, and we're going to be highlighting more of this on Saturday as we kick off the Power of Pure Presence. This Saturday, I've been asked, many people have reached out asking for relationship, encouragement, coaching, help, perspective, an ear during this time. Relationships have been all over the place. I've experienced it myself, and people have reached out to me. And so I thought, let's do it now. As you know, many of you who follow me have a full plate, lots going on, lots of exciting projects, working on Flashpoint, manifesting the moment of your big breakthrough, which I'm passionate about. But how about the relationship area? How about a breakthrough there? But let's talk about it. It's communication is key, right? And maybe you're like the one guy who said, my wife and I have great communication. We have great communication. My wife tells me everything that she's thinking. Isn't that great? And he also said, she also tells me everything that I'm thinking. How about that for some great communication? That could be one way we deal with relationships. But what are the challenges? I mean, I think it's important to find out what you're dealing with in relationships, because it's easy to come in and it's easy to give out information, which we're going to do, but it's got to be relevant to you, because we're talking about all relationships when I go through this. Of course, I had a trainer one time. He said this: some of this stuff will work with everyone, and only a few of these things will work. Hold on. Some of this will work with everyone. All of this will work with a few. It's true for training. Like, some of this is going to work with, it's universal. It'll work with everyone. But all of this only works with a few people. So let's, I'm going to make this fun too. I'm going to make this fun tonight as we go through this, because if you can't have fun, why do it? We got to have fun while we're sorting through some of these things. So the other joke I have here for you, I'm actually pulling it up. My wife broke it off with me because of communication issues. Does anyone want to talk to her about it? All right, you'll get that one in a second. So anyway, what are the challenges in relationships? Let me grab some of your shares. Great subject, pertinent these days. Don't I know it? Listen, and by the way, I've spent a lot of time. I've spent like hundreds of hours studying, researching, thousands of hours in my own interpersonal relationships. And really, I'm very introspective. Whenever something doesn't go right, or I am thinking, what could go better? What could I do better? Because I'll share with you, to be serious here for a moment, I'll share with you some of my greatest lessons in relationships. When things would like heat up, especially in like intimate relationships, I would have a tendency to shut off. How many of you know what I'm talking about? You feel like no matter what you do is wrong, and you just, boom, you just flip it off. And there's a way through that stuff, though. There's absolutely a way through that stuff. You don't, and we're going to get into that on Saturday. We're going to have some really great discussions around this. So I did that in my marriage, and it didn't go well. Yeah. So see, you know what I'm talking about, right? We can do that. And men and women play different roles, but we're not just talking about men and women. I'm talking about all interpersonal relationships here that we can improve upon. And what do you think the failure points are? What are those points of like compromise, or not even compromise. That's not a good word, because that's something that some people aspire to. What are the points of failure? What happens? Okay. Depending on where you look, I'm going to use psychology today. Trust and communication. Communication and trust. And think about how those two interplay with each other. How communication can, lack of communication or not coming from the right place in our communication can cause lack of trust. And we all know what happens when trust breaks down. Flexibility is a must. It's the delivery and knowing when to stop and come back to the topic. That's a great point, because how often in communication with another person, and we've all felt this, and I know I've felt this, is when it starts to escalate. I call it escalate. Things escalate. And I'm always talking about de-escalate with people that I talk to. I even use that word. Let's let things de-escalate, because the emotion, it's like that fire. And it's like when you add fire and fire, it leads to more fire. Someone needs to de-escalate. Someone needs to be able to develop the emotional intelligence to de-escalate. I like this, Michelle. Each person needs to because I've heard people say it's 50-50. It's right. You've heard this. It's 50%. You put in your 50, I'll put in my 50. But it's not, is it? It's 100%. 100. And sometimes not everyone's going to be at 100% all the time. And so if someone's not operating at 100%, but the other person is, we can often go, what's the deal? What's the deal? But let's go into that. It's perfect timing. How to love. How to love. This is perfect setup. I'm going to read this to you. This is the second mantra here. Number 2. So last night, number 1 was, I'm here for you. Just telling somebody. And I did a little presence exercise with you last night. I looked into the camera to really accentuate presence. And that's what we're going to be talking about on Saturday, the power of pure presence. Mantra number 2. I know you are there and I am happy. I know you are there and I am happy. And what this means is, if you're at 100%, the other person's not, and you say, I'm here for you. Have the emotional intelligence, even when you're going through a downtime, to say, I know you're there and I'm happy that you're there. I got chills. This is some really powerful stuff. Got the microphone here, and hopefully the sound is good. Let me know the sound is good. I'm going to read this. This is very short. You're going to get a lot from this. I know you're there and I'm happy is the second of the 6 mantras. When I look at the full moon, I breathe in and out deeply and say, full moon, I know you're there and I'm very happy. I do the same with the morning star. Powerful. It's just moving. I'm moved because something so simple that life is always happening. So many things are happening in our favor right now. When you contemplate a beautiful sunset, if you are really there, you will recognize and appreciate it deeply. And I did that today. Right here. Son, I'm fortunate. I'm blessed. I got a beautiful sliding glass door, the balcony. Sun comes in here. And I looked at the sun. I was like, that sun is there for me. It's there for me. And I thought, and now every day, that sun is getting, the days are getting longer and longer. And I reflected back to just about a month ago. We appreciate it deeply. Look at me. I'm all this. I'm looking at the microphone. Hey, there you are. I'm here. Wherever you are truly there, you can recognize and appreciate the presence of the other, whether that is the full moon, the North Star, the magnolia flowers, or the person you love. And I love this because it becomes a practice that we get to embark, we get to embody. I know you're there, and I'm happy. That's mantra number 2. All right, let's see here. Let's see what else we have here. How about this one? Arguing with your partner is like trying to read the terms of use on the internet. Eventually you just give up and say, I agree. How many of you have done that? I know I've done that. Here's a funny story. So a little boy, a little girl on the in the playground, Jacob and Rachel and their friends in the school nursery. And Rachel says, hey, Jacob, do you want to play house? And Jacob says, sure. What do you want me to do? And Rachel says, I want you to communicate. And Jacob says, I have no idea what that means. So Rachel says, perfect. You can be the husband. Boom, boom. So did I get you laughing there? Okay. So Saturday, we're going to be diving into relationships. We are going to take it very seriously, but we are going to have fun. We're going to laugh. We're going to learn. There's going to be some exchange, and you're invited. And I'm actually going to share the link with you here. And Mandy, I'm going to ask you to share it too, because if you could, because I'm not sure if what I'm sharing is going to translate over. So I'm going to do it right now and get the link out there. And I want to ask you to take action. I want you to join us Saturday. It's complimentary. I love doing this, and for those of you following this, I mean, it took me a long time to discover that my top 2 strengths are teacher, advisor. I love doing this. I live for this. Like, this is what I live for, to be able to hold space, to learn together, to grow together. There's nothing more, like, to me, like, growth is the most important thing. And it takes getting out of our comfort zone. We don't always like it. Believe me, I don't like it all the time. There's times I just lock down, but it's important for us to do it. And so let me know if that, I'm laughing right with you. So Mandy, if you could share the link, actually, let me go onto the Facebook page and share it. And let me know what your greatest relationship challenge is right now. Is it with a child? Is it with a loved one? Is it with a boss? Is it with a coworker? What seems to be the challenge? What are you running into? Like, let's put it out there now. If you're going to join on Saturday, then we can even go deeper. I'm going to be doing the same thing on Saturday. I always like to get the pulse. I want to get my hand on the pulse of what's happening in your relationships so we can grow together and learn more. Click on the link, get yourself registered, and join us. And you will be so glad you did. Tony Robbins says, the quality of your life is in direct proportion to the quality of your relationship. So if you look at the quality of your life right now and you look at the quality of your relationships, they're probably pretty much in sync. Now, some of you, especially men, it could be either one, but men can go bury themselves into their work because men always want to have a passion, a purpose, and a mission. So even if their relationship's not doing well, they can go out and vent through that other area. And some women do that too. Some women will do that too. And some men won't do that, right? Sometimes there's a role reversal or people have different qualities and characteristics, but a lot of times that's the case. And but with a woman, women are more emotional. They feel everything, right? So it's hard. It's more difficult for women to compartmentalize, and there's a reason for that. We need to value women's men. We need to value women's ability to feel everything. I mean, that's part of it. We need that in our lives. It's embracing all of it because that's what adds value and beauty and so much energy into our lives. And as we provide to them as well. Michelle's, oh, you went to the gym, Michelle, or you vent at the gym? Okay, you vent. I got you. So you kind of like, you just let it out. You like get that, sorry, you're starting to feel, and then what I focus on, and I'll be talking more about this word this year, is transmutation. The word transmutation. We can't stop the emotions coming up a lot of times. We just feel a certain way. Sometimes we just feel a certain way. We're just pissed. Something triggered us. Something happened. And we just get like, we get that fire. We get that fire going right inside of us. And it's not that we don't want to subdue that. That's not good. What we can do is learn to consciously transmute it. And maybe that's what you do. You go to you run, you hit the weights, you just go, you just let it out. My neighbors are going to be like, what happened? What's going on over there? We're going to close up here in a minute. I'm going to just wrap up here. Transmute is one of my key words. And it's also like in line with alchemy. If you've ever read the book, The Alchemist, transmute time, sense, and energy to release bad energy. Okay, I don't know if I got that fully, but I get your point, Mandy. Transmute is a key word. Transmute time, space, and energy to release bad energy. Beautiful, beautiful. Tell me what your challenges are. Register on Saturday. Let's get in. Let's roll up our sleeves. Let's have some candid conversations. I'm going to share some great insight. No matter what relationship you're dealing with, you can improve it. You can improve it. Now, some relationships you need to step away from. There's boundaries. There's things we need to do. Absolutely. And so when I say improve all relationships, that means you're in a relationship. If you decided you don't want to be in a relationship, then maybe you decide you don't want to be in a relationship anymore, because that's some decisions that some people need to make. That's the reality of it. I'm not here to save people's relationships. I'm here to help you grow, and I'm here to help you improve all your relationships that you choose to be in. So, all right, everyone, I've hit you with the jokes. We've read out of this book. My goal is to keep this going. Tomorrow night, I will be back on tomorrow night. How's that? And we'll go into mantra number 3, which I'm going to do a little precursor here. Okay. Mantra number 3 is very good as well. And especially if there's a lot of stuff going on or someone's not feeling real good, So think about your relationships. Think about what challenges you're going through right now. Think about the quality of your life and look at the quality of your relationships and ask yourself, what can I do to improve the quality of my relationships? And we have a complimentary thing happening on Saturday. You're free to join. And I understand sometimes clicking on that link and registering could be one of the boldest decisions you make. But I also know, based on past history, it could be one of the best decisions you make. The best decision you will make. So God bless. Love you. Have a great night. And we'll see you tomorrow night. This is Austin, your transformational coach, founder of Flashpoint. We want to manifest the moment of your big breakthrough, especially in your relationships. Good night, everyone. Hope you have a great rest tonight. Bye-bye.